Wise, what do we expect to see here?
More Reinhardt, more Zarya, a lot of Junkrat. Potentially, when it comes to that first point, as well as the street phase, we might see some swaps back and forth, some Widowmaker, some Pharah. There's a lot of possibilities here.
King's Row is ready. Let's go.
And we will indeed. Shax right now going to be on the Soldier 76. How's it going, everybody? I'm Hurix and joined by Brunchy, you just saw on the desk. And we're looking to see what Orgless and Hungry can do here. They're sitting now at 1-1. Jigsaw we haven't seen too much of, but 0-1. So both teams suffering one loss. Orgless and Hungry obviously just one step ahead with a win under their belt already. But Jigsaw have a lot of matches coming up today and tomorrow that they have to win out, be able to find a spot in the playoffs.
So far, interesting composition coming out on both sides. Nothing too unexpected, of course, as Vision will be picking up that Soldier on the offense, potentially look to push Epps as well as Shax away from that high ground, but Matt is going to be the first one to go down, and with that following up kill onto Leodeds and Latex is going to make things really difficult here for this lineup of Jigsaw to continue on pushing. But Envision taking down Cruz could be a big opening pick. Matt still with another one to Shax this time around. Should be looking to regroup with the rest of his team, but the respawn definitely in advantage of this lineup of Jigsaw, and if they can capitalize off of it, things might just be looking really good for them at this first point.
They're trying to get that Soldier back into position. He's going to take high ground as Cruz coming back into the fight now as well. And Fenzi here has a great opportunity. He's huge on charge, has 100 now, just trying to break this barrier down from Latex, really putting some pressure down onto Leodeds. Has the Graviton that he's been holding for quite some time now. Really needs to get a good use out of this as Cruz comes in, has the barrier, will be saved. That's going to be the Graviton on top of it. Great plays from Fenzi, coordinating with Cruz there as well to get their tank back up. Cruz going to be coming back from spawn for a second time, but really, really good stuff from Orgless and Hungry, trying to bounce back from yesterday's loss.
And Rubicon left by Zalones himself off from the side will go down eventually with that staggered kill. Will make things a little bit more difficult here for the side of Jigsaw. However, with Earth Shatter good to go, as well as Transcendence for Epps, they're still really going to be struggling to look for an opening here. But considering the fact that Facility now having Riptire on top, we'll be looking to potentially use it early into the fight, but Tonic will be the first one to go down. Now with the Riptire being pulled out, he's gonna look for those targets, doesn't find anything, and as a result, Jigsaw might just do it, especially with Matt picking up a double kill off of the Rocket Barrage.
Big plays there from Matt. That's huge. We're gonna see the Transcendence coming out just to secure it here, but Matt gonna be taken out of the sky as Cruz, showing off the fact that he has played DPS before, getting 2 kills on the board for himself. That's cool to see, but unfortunately won't mean much. They will see him coming back from respawn. Rubicon and Matt both going to have those kind of long spawns. So Orgless and Hungry coming back now. Cruz going to have a short spawn for himself. That's going to be nice to see. So Orgless and Hungry here can really kind of be aggressive with the way that they hold, looking to try to defend this as the payload does reach that archway.
And of course, having that Attack Visor as well as the Transcendence still available, as Matt did find those kills at the start of that previous fight, and now getting Shax once again is going to be potentially detrimental to this upcoming team fight, as so far things are looking still exceptional here for this lineup of Jigsaws. They continue to push on through Streets phase, uncontested so far, and as you will be able to find Tonic as well, another kill onto this lineup of Orgless and Hungry. Even with Vonafel and Envision going down, should still be all about Jigsaw.
With Matt finding that first opening pick, they didn't have the pressure to keep Latex back at all. So good stuff from Matt again, helping to secure. But coming back into this next fight, Fenzi, he's been good with the Gravitons, been good with those barriers, really good performance on the Zarya so far, I'd say. And they'll have the Riptire to back that Graviton up. He's got high energy, or will have it soon, and that's going to be already Envision popping out that Attack Visor, looking for something, but he gets caught in the grab. There's the Riptire I was talking about from before. Ep still has his Transcendence, but I don't know if they're going to even need it, as Shax is looking to clean up. They're still popping it out just to make sure that they stay alive inside the Graviton dropped by Leodeds, and I don't like that, actually, from this Zarya. I mean, we already saw them dying off in that fight. He tried to turn it, but there just wasn't going to be enough backup because Envision already took that pressure. Matt was already down, so I don't know about that one.
But the big advantage at the very least gained out of that particular choice is the fact that we will see only Tonic and Cruz have their respective ultimates, whereas on the other side it was Envision and Leodeds popping their respective ones in that team fight. So a small advantage in that regard, especially when it comes to those support ultimates. We all know how important they are, and if they can really capitalize off of them, they can snowball this objective through that second point and even further, as Matt will be able to pick up another double kill. Cruz is gonna come in with a Valk, but the Earth Shatter is gonna come through, and even with the Resurrects, things are looking exceptional here for Jigsaw as they continue putting on the hurt and the pressure. However, Facility finding the target onto Envision will finally go down. Cruz still bloodthirsty on that Mercy. Will be able to find Matt as well. Latex charging it a little bit too far forward, and as a result, we will still see Orgless and Hungry finding back, pushing the opposition away towards their spawn. And even though things were looking really bad for them, somehow, some way, it is going to be Orgless and Hungry coming out on top of that one.
If I'm not mistaken, Vaneless had the most final blows on Mercy coming into this, and I think he was at about 3, if I'm not mistaken. Cruz has already gotten 3 on this map alone, and I don't know if he had one before, but if he did, he is already the most ruthless and bloodthirsty, hungry. I mean, Orgless and Hungry, he's definitely seeing the hungry side of that team name right now on Mercy, so getting a lot done. Finzi, though, on this Zarya, he's looked so good. And we do see a couple kills coming online here for them as they go ahead, get aggressive, jumping now at Leodets. He's going to have the Graviton for the next fight, but Finzi coming away pretty close himself. Cruz, again, going so aggressive on the Mercy with that pistol, trying to get some extra ult charge for himself. And when you have that ability to get aggressive, that does kind of help your Mercy out a little bit, because in situations where you would see the Mercy normally dying off or not really doing too much because they're not able to heal anything, he's going to be able to come away with a little bit of that extra ult charge. That's nice to see for Orgless and Hungry.
But seeing as they will be playing very far forward, they're going to look to delay things here, especially since Envision is going to be the first one to go down. Graviton's going to come out of Leo. That's desperate attempt. Transcend is going to be there to make sure everyone stays safe and healthy. And with the kills still coming online here, Earth Shatter as well, we will see a desperate attempt by Rubicon will finally go down. It does not matter. Even with Attack Visor coming through, it will be in the end Orgless and Hungry coming online here on King's Row.
Great defense there to start things off. We hadn't seen either of these teams. Between all the maps that they've played, you know, we saw Orgless and Hungry and Jigsaw, three games between them. This is the one map that they haven't played out of this. So, I mean, we've seen the other 3 already for them. So, nice to see them coming out swinging. Really good defense so far. Finzi, obviously, a huge player in this, I would say. We saw a lot of picks coming out from everybody, but Finzi was incredibly consistent with the Zarya, always helping out. Projected barriers were always where they needed to be. Gravitons coming down were incredibly effective. I mean, that really does come down to your team as well. Leodeds, I think, made a couple of mistakes. We saw one coming down when they didn't have the backup. The Transcendence wasn't quite there from Rubicon, just a little bit disconnected as compared to Orgless and Hungry, who you saw just really connecting quite well, even with Cruz and Finzi, where Cruz came in, got a big res onto Tonic, and then Finzi, you just protected him with the barrier. Just that kind of coordination. It seems simple, and it is, but that kind of stuff you just sometimes miss in really heated games, especially in tournament play like this. And it's nice to see Orgless and Hungry really stepping up from yesterday.
It seems like they will be mirroring their respective compositions when it comes to the defensive side. Matt will be picking up that Junkrat once again. But over on the offensive side of things, we'll be curious to note whether or not Tonic sticks to that particular Orisa pick. It could potentially enable things for his team if they manage to somehow play around that barrier. But Shax now, potentially on that Widowmaker, will look to find any pick for his team, but will eventually make the swap back to that Soldier, and we'll see Tonic also on that Reinhardt. So nothing too unexpected in the end there.
Now we're seeing them go forward. Matt, very, very big plays so far from him. I mean, he was basically the reason they even got that first objective, and then were able to continue from there. It was basically just on the back of Matt. Now we're going to be seeing if Matt can make even bigger plays to stop this attack. I don't know. That's going to be a lot to put on him, especially as Shax is already taking up this high ground. Do you see him running over to Rubicon? He finds that kill. This is going to be a fast take from Orgless and Hungry.
Just managing to dismantle the opposition with ease. Shax picking up a triple there, I believe, at the end. And as a result, it's going to be a lot of time left in that time back throughout the streets phase. And again, all they need is to reach that second checkpoint to get the map win. And as a result, with these ultimate advantages being built up as well, things are not looking good here for Jigsaw. Even with Matt now making the swap over to the Pharah, will look to contest that those air battles. But Leodad's now picking up Tonic might delay things a little bit here for Orgless.
Now we're seeing Shaq still controlling that high ground. They're going to try to contest here. Jigsaw wants to play this archway just like we saw from Orgless in Hungary, but Visibility now is going to be on this Pharah, just as we saw Matt from before, and Matt makes that swap himself, trying to put some damage out. Shaq's trying to contest it, and there it is. Visibility connecting off of Finzi again, showing off that coordination that they've put together, finding that team kill, surging forward. A lot of time on the clock to work with here.
And Evs picking up 2 kills for himself as well. And as you said, with so much time left to work with, it's going to be really difficult here for Jigsaw to have anything done. And at the very least, the light at their end of the tunnel is the fact that they have both support ultimates up. Leodets should potentially have that Graviton coming into this next team fight. We can find the damage as well as this barriers to make sure he is charged up as well. But 4 minutes on this push is going to make things really difficult for them. Earth Shatter is good to go on the side of Tonic. Cruz could once again get bloodthirsty with that Valkyrie, but it's going to be Vonifel popping it first time. However, Earth Shatter finds free. It's a huge one, and even with the Transcendence coming out, Vonifel with those reses might look to still turn things around. Cruz shooting at the opposition. However, it's going to be Matt picking up a triple kill, and with said triple kill, it might just be enough. However, with the Resurrect still available for Cruz, they're still not over just yet. But in the end, it's going to be Jigsaw recovering from a really close one.
Every time Jigsaw turns a fight around, it's Matt. It's Matt at the forefront. That huge barrage that he got in the first point, making plays on the second just to try to get a stop. And then now as they go over to defense, it's Matt again with a barrage, getting that 3K, stopping that attack that was looking... That was looking abysmal for Jigsaw. It looked like they had no hope at all, but somehow able to just get it done. Visibility already with a nice play, getting that first kill. Shax with the tac visor coming around will be able to put some pressure out onto Rubicon yet again, and he will find a kill. Matt does fall, and he will find a kill onto Shax as well, but that will be that. Orgless and Hungry should take this. I can't imagine anybody making it back to point here.
Especially since Facility should be lying it away with the Rocket Barrage. And there it is. It doesn't matter, however. It will be in the end. Orgless picking up that first win. Definitely looking very strong here on King's Row. And we'll be right back with the second map soon enough. In the meantime, though, it's going to be another Mercy play of the game here. Vonifel this time around, as Cruz was the bloodthirstier one in the end.
And you see him right there just trying to take them out. And that's the final blow that he got onto Matt that I thought put him over the edge. But as you were saying, we will have more maps coming. That was just the first set. And now we're going to go into the next ones just after these commercials.
Welcome back everyone to the analysis desk. Orgless and Hungry really looking great in that one. I was very impressed with Finzi. His area play was another level. Projected barriers and graviton surges. They did definitely a lot for his side.
And that's one of the things Morte, this team's coach, was talking about prior to the tournament starting, is the fact that Finzi, when it comes to his Zarya, he's one of the scariest, if not the scariest, in Europe. So we definitely saw why that could definitely be the case. But looking forward into the second map, now that we've seen already what Orgless and Hungry can do on Lunar Horizon Colony, it's going to be an interesting one.
It's kind of hard to predict what is going to happen, but so far we've seen a lot of Sombra play, and it hasn't been really doing good for whoever used it, basically.
But at the very least, for Orgless and Hungry, they already have a win on that map, and it was a quick one at that versus Squid, who are right now at the top of the group. So considering their past performance and how they seem to so far outclass the competition, Jigsaw, it's going to be looking tough for them.
Now, coming into Horizon, what do you think Jigsaw basically needs to do in order to get back into the series?
It's going to come down to really enabling Matt, it seems, because whenever they really showed good signs overall, it seemed to come down to Matt just pulling through time and time again, be it on that Pharah, potentially on this Junkrat, coming on to Horizon Lunar Colony. So I think that should be their focus.
Yeah, he was basically doing some plays which allowed them to show some signs of life, but it wasn't enough. Now we will see what's going to happen in the second map. Horizon is ready. Casters, take it away.
And if we will see Orgless and Hungary getting to that kind of late playoff stage, it's really going to be on Finzi, I think, to a pretty large degree. I mean, we've seen great stuff from him so far, but especially as Zarya gets enabled, I think that's going to be something to look out for. Finzi has been insane on it already. We even look back a year ago to Movistar Riders, who took the first season of Overwatch Pit back in, what was it? I think February, March or something like that of last year. So just under a year now, about 10, 11 months or something. And I mean, they took it. He was looking phenomenal. Sense has looked phenomenal with 1-2-3 as well. Contenders. I mean, he's been an all-star, I would say, for EU. So I definitely look to him to try to make some big things happen here, especially as Zarya might be coming more into the meta as we see tank strats coming out more and more, even now before the changes are even out. But look at this comp here. They are going to be playing out that Sombra strat that we saw, but we've also seen how this can get denied.
And it's going to be a tough one at that, but at the very least, interesting choice here coming out of the side of Jigsaw, as Envision will be on the McCree instead of the Widowmaker, but Matt already opening up with a kill here onto Shax. And with that high ground setup, again, it's going to be a little bit difficult here for this side of Orgless and Hungry to really find their way onto the point. However, with the facility already on the case in terms of hacking those health packs, could potentially eventually enable Shax to really dish out a lot of damage, as Matt will be the one to contest onto the point now. Looking like he's going to be dropping a little bit low. We'll have the support needed in order to stay alive. We'll see the rest of Orgless and Hungry try to contest the high ground again in the meantime, but it will be Rubicon getting the D-suit.
And that was a quick fire back onto Finzi there. Lost his man so fast. Rez is coming out now for Jigsaw as Vonathil picks Rubicon back up. They're going to be taking some fire on the backside. Still Epps sneaking around alongside Shax. They're going to try to find some kills. Shax does get trapped, and Rubicon finds the kill with the motionless Tracer, making him even more motionless at that. And now Matt trying to make a heroic play, not going to work out. Orgless and Hungry take this first point. A little back and forth there, especially as Finzi lost his mech. As soon as he tried to aggress to that high point, Matt took him out almost immediately. And now they're going to have a lot of time to work with. They have EMP that they were even able to hold, as well as Transcendence up to now 90%. They have to get this EMP off quick and try to find the kill on the Rubicon if they want to take it with momentum here.
Ooh, but Matt opening up with that Riptide is going to go underneath, look for those targets, at the very least potential D-suit, but Facility is going to find him instead in the meantime, and not being able to get the D-suit on that D.Va means that it is Orgless and Hungry's time to shine. They need to potentially push their way onto this objective. EMP does go out. Shax pulls out a double kill with that Pulse Pop Cruise. Another kill on the board for him, and with those final blows, it seems like Orgless and Hungry are in it to potentially win this one quick, but We'll see Rubicon rush back towards the point. We'll solve things long enough. Bonneville is going to be the one to go down. And with the return Transcendence, in the end, even though the fight is lasting a long time, it should be Orgless and Hungry coming out on top for a quick first round.
They're going to kill off Matt pretty quick there as well. The res comes out from Bonneville, not quick enough to get onto the point and try to hold that one as they pick Leodid's up as well. Very, very rapid there for side of Orgless and Hungry, and we will see them swapping sides, but 531, that's insane to see on Horizon Lunar Colony. From what we've seen so far, especially utilizing that Sombra strat, I think that's the first time we've actually effectively seen that used, even throughout the map. We saw a couple of times that 4 tank strat. I think that's been the most effective so far in this tournament. For taking point A and then going over to point B, it's kind of hit or miss, usually miss, but we have seen one time now where it can work. So I don't know. We'll have to see if it's going to be a similar setup or if they're going to be trying to find a way to enable Matt here, because so far that's what's worked for them. Try to find a way to get Matt the space that he needs to make heroic plays. That's what worked for them on King's Row. Just didn't work enough. And I think everybody else kind of has to shore up a little bit, because we haven't really been seeing all-star plays from really anybody other than Matt so far from Jigsaw.
And now we will see him pick up that Pharah in particular here. And on the other side, when it comes to Orgless and Hungry and seeing their defensive setup, it will be Shax on that Widowmaker, who will definitely make Matt's life worse for wear. And as they will eventually set up on that high ground, I don't really see how Jigsaw really pull through with this kind of composition. I will expect them to eventually swap things around just after they see what Orgless and Hungry will pull out. And considering this setup, which we've seen in the past here for Orgless and Hungry, which one do you think for the attacking side has the highest chance of success against this one?
Ooh, okay. Looking at this, hold up for a second. We want to look at Shax here, because I think that this is really going to come down to the matchup between Shax and Matt. If you watch this play unfold, Shaq's going to get the first kill, so Matt is forced back now. That's going to slow things down even more, and I really like this duel that's going to be coming out if they decide to stick with this on the attack, because normally Matt is quite an aggressive player, especially on that Pharah. Shax has been finding headshot after headshot after headshot. I think he's, 66% crit accuracy right now. I think he got the body shot kill onto Matt, but Matt's going to swap now, so this is big here. I think if he stayed on that Pharah, it would have been a little bit back and forth, but as he goes over to the Genji, this is going to give them a big opportunity here to just go full dive on them. Still, though, the anti-dive setup from Orgless and Hungry should be able to back them off rather easily. They should be able to punch out a bunch of front-loaded damage and take out these tanks pretty easily.
But with Epps being the first one to go down, it's not looking too good here for Orgless, as Shax and Facility still answers with 1 kill each. But is it going to be enough? Finzi still on that Roadhog, looking for those targets, hungry for them at that, and Facility picking up another one to Leodid's. Should delay things enough to the point where they don't even get 1 tick achieved, even though some picks do happen on those supports. And in the end, it will be Orgless and Hungry still holding out strong.
Facility coming away with a Riptire as well, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get into position to try to get high ground again or whatever, if they're going to be able to get their setup. Orgless and Hungry now coming back, Tonic just now coming onto the point, and they're going to be holding this backside instead. And this is still a workable point to hold the objective on, because now you're just not giving up control of the point. We're seeing that dive still being held onto by Matt, as Shax does take out Envision on the Widowmaker.
Envision unable to find that pulse bomb. Did try to go for it. Means that it's going to be a 6v5. No resurrect for you, my friend. Definitely out of position for that one. And as a result, now with the blade coming out, Matt is going to look to turn things around. Gets the first kill onto Epps, a big one since it's a support. But Cruz is going to pop that Valkyrie. He's going to keep the rest of his team safe. And as a result, could even go in for the resurrect. Does opt not to use it, however. Tonic picking up Latex will go down in the end to Envision. Cruz bringing him back up as well as a Facility. Will look to continue to stall things off onto the point, considering it's 1 minute 35 seconds remaining. Matt finally finds the kill onto Shax, but is it going to be enough? He gets the second one. He gets a third one. Matt on this Genji, finally creating the space his team needs, but Finzi has still 1 ward left in this team fight as he goes back towards the point. Looks to delay things for a little while alongside Cruz, but it's not going to be long enough as Matt did find Epps there in the end as well, making it easy for the rest of his team to clean up. And again, seems like Jigsaw definitely looking better once Matt gets enabled.
He's going to have that blade soon too, but Epps is right on pace, having that Transcendence up and a couple of shots here. He's going to get that from just damaging out this Primal Raged Winston here. Latex forced to pull back. He's dangerously low at the moment. Will get killed off by Finzi, who just comes up with those thrusters as well. We're going to be seeing a res come out. That's going to be Vonethil picking Matt back up. This is the star player able to turn fights, shift momentum, and what a way to do it with a nice kill onto Epps. We're going to see him pull the blade out, look for the Mercy. He finds it. He will be denied by Visility, though, with that Riptire. They're coming back into this play here with Epps holding onto that Transcendence still. They have an opportunity. Finzi going to be losing that mech as Visility falls as well. The Transcendence now popping by Epps just to try to secure this for a little bit longer to contest it here. And now it's Rubicon's turn. He's going to pop out the Transcendence. He's going to keep his team alive. There's nobody to heal for Epps. And slowly but surely, Jigsaw working their way closer to capping this out with a fairly good time themselves. Still on the high ground, going to be taking Finzi out of the mech, putting some damage out onto the Baby Diva as well. And just like that, 3:57 on the clock for Jigsaw as well.
As they return fire onto the opposition, they will manage to get that second point and make it competitive here on Horizon Lunar Colony. And as we will be swapping, keeping the sides this time around once more. Orgless and Hungry on the defense. It's looked good for them at the start. Shax definitely being really big on that Widowmaker, getting those entry kills and really making overall Jigsaw's life very difficult. But now that we did see Matt come online on that Genji and potentially being more prepared to deal with this Widowmaker out of this Orgless and Hungry lineup, we'll see if we'll have any swaps in terms of their hero pool on either side. As so far, pretty much the same thing on both ends.
So I like that play from Matt, playing that Genji. That was huge. Getting that kill onto Epps denied that Transcendence from being as effective as it should have been, being able to heal out everybody on the team, you know, keeping those tanks alive, sustaining, keeping control on the objective, and then finding that kill on the Cruise as well, so that they weren't able to get those reses going. So again, Matt with a huge heroic play to just turn that fight. They've really been relying on him so far, but now they're going to be going back onto attack as they have the smaller time bank to play with, and he's going out on the Genji to start things off again here. But remember, Shax is on this Widow. Still a lot of time away from them initially getting that first kill, of course, onto Matt when he was on the Pharah. But we'll have to see if this does continue, because with this very hard dive, if they get too aggressive and jump over onto Visility, he could take them out early. Now he's going to force them off of the high ground, though. Envision on the objective, of course, pulling them off of that. They're going to jump in. Envision already popping off right now.
Getting a big double, but Finzi has one count to Vonethil. However, it's not going to matter as Matt and Envision still clean up houses. Will be Shax and Finzi. Final members left here will also go down, and already with this composition, Jigsaw looking on point to have a really good time, even moving forward to the second one. And with ultimates being built up in their advantage as well, things are gonna just be that much more difficult here for Orgless.
We're seeing Matt come back. He had that long spawn, so had a long ways to walk, so they're not going to be able to just rush the point or anything. Now finally getting set up here. Latex looking for that opening. They're looking for a spot of vulnerability where we see that high ground control coming out. Epps already taken down pretty low, forced back into the spawn, and Cruz is just holding up in the corner as well. They're just trying to stay away from Matt. They don't want that same thing to happen as what we saw from before with Matt just diving Epps. They're trying to insulate their backline a little bit better this time. They're doing a good job of that, especially now putting some damage onto Latex. He popped the Primal Rage. The Transcendence going to save the day for the time being. Barrier going to be dropped as well, just to get away from that self-destruct. Vonethil with a nice res onto Envision. Going to bring that Tracer back into play. Now he needs to deny Cruz if he can. Cruz taken down pretty low. Envision does find the kill. They're looking to try to take this here right now. They do find the kill as well. Blade from Matt, finding 2 kills, make it 3 onto Finzi's mech. He's looking for the final blow, as well as Shax coming through. Will be able to deny Matt. They're going to be backing them up. I think they do make the defense here, and right before it gets to, that tick mark.
Just so close here.
That's huge.
Definitely, especially considering it's now 2 minutes left on the clock. A lot of ultimates committed over on the side of Jigsaw to really make that happen. And even though Matt did find quite a bit of success alongside a Vision, who definitely is coming more online here on this Jigsaw roster, we'll see if they can somehow still keep it up. On the defensive side, however, having both support ultimates available as well as the attack visor for Facility, and now Tonic even getting his primary, it's going to make things very difficult for Jigsaw.
Do you see the defense having both support ults? We saw how that could be denied before as Epps getting taken down by Rubicon. A great right click coming in just to take him out. That's a res forced out from Cruz, but he still has another charge after he popped that Valkyrie, and now getting, again, very aggressive, trying to pull out that Battle Mercy. Great LOS here coming out as well, making sure that they don't die off, of course, to Leo Dead's self-destruct. Vonthil now getting that res onto Matt. Is this the big turnaround? Not going to happen. Facility shuts it down. Both of them dead to the attack visor, and they've got it down now to about a minute here, Brunch.
But look at this here for Jigsaw. So many ultimates being built up soon enough. They might just look to get a snowball rolling to potentially get that second point, or at the very least, get one tick on it, as so far really not able to get that one from the previous team fight. Means that they're going to be potentially in big trouble, considering Epps is good to go with Transcendence of his own. Will look to stall things out for his team if need be. And so far, really unable to find anything done here on the high ground. We'll see Finzi going in, just being disruptive with that tank line. And now, actually, Transcendence being forced out early is not what they were looking for. But Matt popping out that attack visor as well. It's gonna be Finzi and Tonic going down. Bonafil even going for that Valkyrie just to stay alive and having those resurrects if need be. Epps is gonna pop the Transcendence, managing to stall things off onto the point. Matt with another good kill now. Envision even pick up another onto Tonic. Will look to secure the second tick now. Third one remaining, and can they do it? 8 seconds left until overtime. Cruz is gonna be able to get one resurrect through. Matt gets the D2. Leodets gets the kill, and now with Rubicon pick up another onto Shaq. It will be through overtime potentially here for Jigsaw, finding the final kills and the point in the end. But whew, that could have been a close one.
The good news for Orgless and Hungry now is that they took it into overtime. So if they're able to cap out with some extra time, ideally over a minute, obviously, they'll have that advantage to move into point A, get that first tick, and try to take the map along with it. But it's still going to be difficult, too, because, you know, now there's time here for adaptation. You know, you get into this stage here where Jigsaw is going to be making some adjustments, and Matt has already been making huge plays. Rubicon stepping up now as well, and Vision doing big stuff. But, you know, now at this point, they have 5:30 on the clock. On their defense, again, I feel like Epps kind of has to be a little bit frustrated because both times when point B was taken, Epps was basically denied any really good effectiveness at all out of his Transcendence. We saw the first time, of course, he got picked off, and then when he tried to come back in, it was just a stall. All he could do with it was contest. And then this time around, his team was so over-aggressive that, you know, they overextend a little bit, and that kind of spacing differential, Epps pulls it out, but just not able to get there in time. Now pulling back, he just, again, forced to contest with it because there's nobody there for him to help. So twice now, we've seen that Transcendence fall short a little bit. But now when they're attacking, where they've obviously looked the best, they're going to be, again, banking on this Sombra strat to work out for them. We will more than likely see Jigsaw, you know, be ready for this, but we'll have to see if they do play into it at all, because you want to be able to see try to deny it. You want to be able to see Jigsaw keep their backline safe from Shax and Facility, who are likely to move around this backside as soon as they get control of this mega health pack, which they have done now. And now it's going to be Facility trying to move over to that other health pack, start denying them, and he will go ahead and hack it now. So this is where things start opening up.
And we'll see if they can have anything done here, as Finzi will try to dive in with Tonic, pushed away for now. Still looking for an opening over onto the side. Shax looking to dish out as much damage as possible, building up that pulse bomb, rapidly approaching but dropping really low, gets countered by the Vision, and now with the recurring kill onto Vodafone, it's going to be a big one, especially considering Rubicon is the next one to fall. for this Jigsaw lineup, and it's looking like Orgless should eventually find the kills they need, even though Leodad's still looking to answer, gets the D-suit onto Fenzi, and with Latex eventually going down, it might still be Orgless and Hungry taking this one, but Envision taking down Tonic is going to make things difficult. Facility now, though, putting him in the end. Shax gets another kill. Latex gets taken down, and with 4 minutes on the clock, already looking poised to taking that first point, we'll be looking really good here for Orgless and Hungry.
Looked like there was some hope for a moment there for Jigsaw, but overall, I mean, it's tough to deal with the suppression that you get out of that Tracer Sombra combination, especially onto your tanks. Once you start losing everybody, it's just hard. It's just so difficult to deal with. The damage that comes out is really overwhelming, and it just keeps going. It never stops. It's unrelenting. But now we see the EMP ready for Facility. Going to be looking for an opportunity to try to get back there, I imagine, onto Leodad's and Rubicon if he can figure it out. But Leodad's going to be the main target here so that they don't have that defense matrix. Facility going to be pulling out more than likely pretty soon here as well. But they already found 3 kills. This is Matt now, trying to make a play. As the tack bars are going to get killed off by Tonic. And look at this, all over the place. Cruz again with another final blow as he took that pistol out. The Battle Mercy again making another play. And I have to say, at this stage, I mean, nobody can hold a candle to Cruz at all with the amount of kills he gets with that pistol.
Oh, Rubicon popping that Transcendence is not going to be able to keep his Winston safe, and as a result, these final few kills coming out of Shax. Transcendence good to go for Epps as well, and Facility cleaning up Leodad's should be a matter of time here, as it will be Orgless and Hungry in definitely his very advantageous position going to this final round of Lunar, or rather Horizon Lunar Colony, to avoid the draw and get the win.
Yeah, so they have a lot of time, looking back at all their first point caps, they've looked pretty solid. This last one just took over a minute to be able to cap out, and you have to wonder if they're going to go for the same thing. Do you want to change it up, try to catch them off guard a little bit? I mean, so far, like I said, it has worked. So, I mean, if it ain't broke, do you fix it? That's the main question, because right now, with 3.5 minutes, you have to expect Jigsaw is going to want to make adjustments. They're going to either change the way that they position with the same composition, or they're going to change the composition up so that they can at least contest Facility to some degree. I mean, they don't have, of course, the Junkrat that they had started out with. They've now gone to Tracer and Soldier. Didn't really work out much last time, but they have to control this. They can't let a single tick go. And when they hold up on high ground with this anti-dive composition, which is usually what they do, it's not looking like it might be what they do now. But if they hold up there, they're going to allow Facility and Shax to get control of the point, come back around. It'll pull them down. They're going to be in a really bad spot where they're, again, going to try to be controlling from 2 different angles. And if Germany has any idea of what that looks like, it's not going to look good, man.
Oh man, and especially considering the fact that that also makes it easier for Facility to really go ahead and hack all the health packs in the world that he wants to, as Shax will be at the very least taken really, really low. Forced to use that recall early. We'll see Facility, though, still contested. Not really able to get the hack as of yet, and as a result, Envision will get that particular kill and making things a little bit more difficult and making me bite my words here, as I thought initially this should open up Facility for an easier time. Will not be the case, and Latex now, not entirely sure of that particular shield. Might have been a small error on his part, but we'll have it back up. That cooldown definitely short enough so that it doesn't really matter in the end. And we will see Shax still trying to contest off onto the side, look to make things happen here. As said, of course, it's only 1 tick that this lineup of Orgless and Hungry need.
Yeah, and this is where they're fighting on 2 fronts again. And Vision now trying to take on Shax and Facility. Not going to work out. The front line pushing in now as Tonic taking up the back end. That's going to be so easy. Said before, fighting on 2 fronts, never going to work out. We've seen it in history. We've seen it now. And it falls flat yet again. Just no adjustment, not the right adjustments being made to make that defense happen.
Oh, and Cruz this time with the play the game. I really hope he does have a killing blow in this one, as I'm just curious at this point just to count out how many he has. It's been so many. I've pretty much lost count, but moving on forward, it will be Dose's shot at taking out Orgless and Hungry. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.